In terms of the coverage metrics, I mean, there are a lot of different types of different tools available now with, again, with Agile, it's automatically done by these kind of tools like Jira and Trello. This is, again, a very old way of capturing this very traditional way of how high-level product description is placed. So product description is nothing but a feature, is in the context of Agile, a feature or it could be a functionality, feature, a task, technical task, a requirement, could be any of these. A story, it could be an epic. So how that is actually being addressed in which requirements, so you can actually kind of mention the mapping between this and this is what we used to achieve using Requisite Pro in the, when we were using about a good a couple of decades ago. But now you've got automatically these kind of tools. That really depends. Perhaps sometimes they're not totally automatic or totally obvious and easy to understand, easy to look at. So that's better. It's always better to, if it is not so, then as BAs, we can just quickly create this kind of matrix and share it with the team and the stakeholders. So this is again is a snapshot of how it would look like in a requirement traceability matrix. It's called RTM. We used to maintain even in Excel spreadsheet. So essentially, this is, I think, a snapshot from one of the tools called Rec Pro, Rational Requisite Pro. So you've got feature key, feature name, or feature or requirement. And then feature name, what is the description of that, tracking, help system, admin, whatever, archive. And then use case IDs. Previously, we used to use a lot of use cases and use case specification documents. So we used to write out those documents, and these documents have got this unique IDs, right? Now you've got what we call as user stories, right? Now with Agile, we've got user stories and user story cards, USC is what we call. So we can then map the user stories to each of those features. And from there on further into the rest of the design code, design document, architecture, test cases, and so on and so forth. So it goes on. It is a forward traceability. So the whole idea is when we talk about this kind of a matrix is RTM is what we call requirement traceability matrix, is that we need to make sure that there is a complete traceability forward and backward. That means that each feature or each need of the stakeholder is mapped to a feature of the product, and that feature of the product is mapped to the user story that we've got. And then each user story further it be mapped into the design documents or design code. From there, the code, from there into the test cases, and then finally all the, or perhaps even the build that was developed and deployed. So we've got build version 3.10.9.6 that would actually have this requirement. So you can actually trace all the way from the need of the stakeholder through to the feature of the system, through to the user story, through to the design, the development, the code that is used, and then to the test cases that are related, and finally to the build which you have deployed on the live server. So that way you can actually see the total visibility of the entire sort of activities involved. And if there's any change that needs to be done, you know quickly which one needs to be modified, which code has to be picked up, or which design document has to be updated, which architecture has to be reflected, right? And then changed. Very, very powerful. So we were talking about the requirement management tools, the requirement traceability tools. The Iris Business Architecture. The Rational was taken over by IBM about a good 12 years ago, I think, 12 years ago now already. So it became IBM Rational. So Rational suite of tools, Rational Rows, Rational Requisite Pro, Rational Clear Case, Rational Clear Quest. There are so many application lifecycle management tools of Rational suite. So I used Rows as well. And then they've also got a configuration management tool. They've got testing tool and all these design tools like Rational Rows, UML tools, and everything. Enterprise Architect is another good product. You can use it for UML diagrams as well. Polarian, Blueprint, Agile Specs. Agile Specs is as it says, the name suggests, is pretty much Agile friendly, very Agile oriented. So yeah, there are so many tools out there.